Ladies and gentlemen, boys and gals.
Yeah.
We are
Gone.
opposite your chest. Damn, that's a throwback punchline. That was a Dipset punchline, I think. We're back like the opposite of your chest. Damn, man. We're back and we're gone again. How's it feel to be gone and be back?
I don't know, because I've always been gone.
True. So tonight we have a very special guest on the show tonight. Very intelligent guest. Not to say that our other guests aren't intelligent.
You just did.
But my man just knows a lot about a lot, to put it that way. Or you know a decent amount about a whole wide array of things, which is you just make it very interesting to talk to. So hence you're a perfect person for a podcast. Corey, my friend for a while, my man, producer, IT whiz, and just overall, I don't know, historian? I don't know how to classify you, but you're a good guy, man. What's going on? How you been?
I've been good.
How do you classify you?
How do I classify me?
You've been good, but
How
are
do
you gone?
classify
No, I'm
yourself?
not good yet.
Now stick around this group.
On my business card, I have polymath.
Okay.
Potty mouth?
Polymath.
Oh, polymath.
Yeah.
Polymath. Can you explain this polymath to me?
So,
Please.
polymath is a Renaissance person, a Renaissance man. So
Really?
some of the old guys before, like Imhotep and
Yeah.
Benjamin Franklin and guys of that like that had multiple disciplines underneath their belt. They were referred to themselves as
Like Da Vinci and stuff like that?
like Da Vinci, yeah.
Modern day Renaissance.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
The enlightened one. You're illuminated without being Illuminati. But one of the things I wanted to kick off tonight was, because I see you posting a lot about it, talking a lot about it, is Bitcoin stuff. The Bitcoin phenomenon.
Yeah.
And just, over the past couple of years, it's hiked in popularity. It's also hiked in value.
Yes.
So I was watching a brief thing before we met up today. It said like in 2009 you could have got stuff for 75 cents, and then later in the past couple of years the stuff has spiked to 1,500 and then $2,000 for one Bitcoin. And
Yes.
So what is Bitcoin? It's internet currency.
It is internet currency. I guess the easiest way to explain it
Yeah, we need the
in
easiest way.
in 10 seconds is it's like PayPal, or it's like your credit card, but not controlled by the bank,
Right.
or not controlled by a credit agency or anything like that. So that's what it is in 10 seconds. However, it's a little bit more complicated than that. So there's two parts to Bitcoin, or rather there's two parts to cryptocurrency in general. Bitcoin just happens to be the first one. So there's the currency, which is the transfer of value. So if you do work for me, I give you $50 for that hour, right?
Okay.
I'm transferring that value from myself to you. And so that's the first function of Bitcoin. The second function, which is what really gives it its value, is something called the blockchain. And the blockchain, you're an accountant, right?
Yeah.
So you know what the general ledger is, right? Obviously.
Okay.
Right? So the blockchain is a general ledger that is time-stamped, and it is semi-permanent. So whatever you write to it, whatever you write to it becomes permanent. It cannot be altered. And then whatever you write subsequently, it keeps building up, and it's permanent, and it's time-stamped. And there's other bits of data that's appended to it also.
Right.
The wallet addresses. But aside from that, that's basically what it is. It records transactions going in and coming out. What makes it really valuable is that before the blockchain, there's always the issue of double spending. And the easiest way to explain double spending is if a girl sends you a picture and you and the girl have a falling out, and she says, I want you to send me back my pictures, right? Now, if she sent this to you by Facebook text or however, right? You know that it's impossible because the way that data works on the computer is that I can give you something, and then I can give you something, then I can give you something. You know, I can give everybody the same thing. And that's a problem when it comes to currency because currency is supposed to be scarce. Now,
Right.
what the blockchain does is that it holds a record of who has what, and it transfers that. So, if Bitcoin
So it's the bookkeeper for all
is a bookkeeper for the entire globe of that currency.
of Bitcoin.
Yeah. So in this example, if this girl gave you her picture, which was like a Bitcoin, right? And
She sent you the booty pic. And
yeah, right. And she said, I want my booty pic back, right?
Right.
It's mine, bitch.
Right. She wants her picture back.
Yeah.
You would give it back to her, and you would no longer have it. And that's the power of the blockchain. That's the power of Bitcoin. That it's never been done before in terms of computing.
How is it? Can it like? Because I'm thinking like money online is going to be easily hacked.
That's what I was talking to him about earlier. And
Okay, so
Like you have to have this super mega
IT,
antivirus, whatever it is.
like you do IT, so you would feel more comfortable than the layman's or
you
the
would
Joe
know,
Schmo.
yeah,
I mean, you trust your bank, right?
yeah.
I mean, if they take out $100 or $500 from your account, I mean, what are you really going to do? To think about it.
Write a letter.
And then what?
And complain.
A
your
terrible
ass off
Yelp.
shit, eh?
A terrible Yelp review.
You
I'd be
get your-
pissed off. I don't
yeah,
know.
Of course, you get your money.
I'd go to my bank.
You take that shit to 7 on your side.
Yeah, but I mean, like the likelihood of you recovering $700 or $100 or
But what about like the
Whatever.
FDIC and stuff like that?
well, that's
Right, your
that's
money's
insur-
federally insured.
That's federally insured up to a certain
Certain
point.
amount, right?
Yeah.
Definitely up
Yeah.
to $700. I hope.
Yeah, certainly, but
It's
that's
$100,000.
But that's in the event
Do you-
of an implosion.
Do you think that Bitcoin is lacking some sort of federal agency to comfort people's insecurities or
No,
their
I think it's actually the opposite. That people's trust or lack of trust in financial institutions is what's driving up the price.
I agree.
Not only in Bitcoin, but also in the cryptocurrency space as a whole. Because, like, for instance, in Japan, they're doing negative interest rates. In in other countries like China and Russia, they have capital controls. Over here, they do quantitative easing, which is basically a way of adjusting interest rates. And when you're doing that with fiat currency, see, the thing with fiat currency is that it allows you to go really far. But if you go too far, you go off of a cliff, which is hyperinflation. And no one wants to go, no country wants to go through hyperinflation. Venezuela's going through that right now. Zimbabwe went through it. Germany went through it.
Right.
And it's not pretty. Hyperinflation is not pretty. And that's what fiat currency allows you, does. The great thing
Every
about
fiat currency, as you said before, like even our currency is going to come a point in time
it'll come
where
to
it's
an end. Yeah.
right. And the more that people lose trust and lose faith in our currency, or the more inflation that we witness, it's the more to say, hey,
Yeah, you look for alternatives.
I see, you see people buying gold, silver, and now Bitcoin is the big thing
Yeah,
in
so-
the last 2 years.
So yeah, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in general, most of them are supposed to mimic gold and silver in properties. So with gold, we've estimated that there's a finite supply. Let's
Right.
say there's 100 million tons of gold.
I heard, I hate to cut you off because I know you're getting to this, but I heard that, I don't know if it's just Bitcoin. You say there's other cryptocurrencies, so
There's
maybe
other
this is
crypto-
just Bitcoin, but they say that there is a
Yeah.
certain amount of Bitcoin and that's it, right?
Yeah, so there's 21 million Bitcoins that'll ever be mined or released.
21. I was going to
minted.
say 21,000. Good
Yeah.
thing you said.
But are they digital though?
Yes, it's digital. But
Okay.
here's the thing about that, right? So you have 21 million, but one unit is infinitely divisible. So you know, if we had a chart or a board, I would be able to show that, let's say you wanted to buy a loaf of bread,
Yeah.
you wouldn't buy a loaf of bread with a Bitcoin as a whole unit because a whole unit is worth, you know, $2,000. You know,
Right.
That's a lot of bread.
So can you
You
divvy
could-
off slices of your Bitcoin?
Yeah. So what you can buy portions of a Bitcoin. If you wanted to buy $1 worth of Bitcoin, you can.
Okay.
So you just move the decimal point, you know, down the way, and you get to what the value of.
So no one's too broke for Bitcoin.
No one is too broke for Bitcoin.
Okay.
I tell everybody to get in at $100. It's great. People I told to get in January, they made significant gains.
Damn, Corey,
Up
you didn't
to
give me
now.
that phone call, man.
Yeah,
I
seriously.
know, right?
It's not too late. There is a second wave coming. So it's not too late.
So, okay, when you say the second wave, and let me preface it by saying this: has Bitcoin only risen or has it dropped in value?
It has dropped in value, and the reason why it has dropped in value, so there's several reasons. So recently it dropped in value, and that was as a result of that was I mean, how can I word it? My thoughts on that, on why it dropped in value recently, was because old money experienced these new highs and cashed out. So that's why. So it hit a peak of around 2,700, and all this old money from 2009, 2010, they decided to cash out and enjoy their spoils.
What do you mean? What do you mean by old money cashing out old money?
So
Like people had stock in it. and they
Original
just- and
investors.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
original
got you,
investors.
got
And
you.
they just took
Makes
the
sense.
money,
Okay.
yeah, so the first time it crashed, or I won't even say crashed, the first time it lost significant value was in around 2013. It was December of 2013, and there's a couple of reasons. There's a couple of implosions. Mt. Gox imploded. The Silk Road imploded around that time also. And when I say implosions, not a physical, you know, bomb blast or anything like that, but more so in the sense that that these huge exchanges came offline, and they held a significant amount of bitcoins, of people's bitcoins, and by removing that, it caused investors to lose faith, and it also just removed a whole ton of bitcoins out of circulation, and it caused the value to go down.
That's interesting.
So you saying right now we can invest in it?
Yes,
Yeah.
you can invest in it. I have a referral code actually.
Oh,
Dropping
don't
that-
let that code out.
We about to get gone.
Ladies and gentlemen, 914-356-8712.
if you want the
If
code,
you need that Bitcoin, 914-356-8712. Call up Corey. This is the man with the plan, the broker of Bitcoin.
So basically, with this referral code is when you spend $100 with Coinbase, you and I get $10 additional. So that $10 you get, you can, you know.
That's awesome.
so could I just follow your movements and whatever you do, I do?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that. You know.
Bet I'm in there.
Right
I got
now,
it.
What's minimum investment?
Yeah.
What's the minimum investment? Well, all right. For instance, right now, Digibyte, which is one of the alternative currencies. So anything after Bitcoin is referred to as altcoins, but when you refer to the whole space, they're called cryptocurrencies. So Digibyte is an altcoin, and they've been around for a while. They've been around since 2013, I believe, or 2014. Let me make sure I got that right. And they are planning from 2014, and they're planning. They're planning a partnership with Minecraft.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, so what is this mining for Bitcoin? This is what I've been waiting to ask is, I used to date this girl who was real smart. Her like 3 of her sisters went to Harvard and stuff like that. Her whole family was smart. And her younger brother, I was like, she's like, oh yeah, he like mines for Bitcoin. This was like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It was like one of the first times I ever heard of Bitcoin.
Yeah,
He's like, oh no, he'll just go on the internet and just mine, and he'll mine for hours until he finds Bitcoin. And I was like, how the fuck do you find?
It's like, is it like
Like,
beating,
what is it like? Was it
like
just
the top score on video games
Yeah,
and
like,
shit like that, right?
What is it? Just like a hidden like corner of the internet universe that you're just like, oh, I found some Bitcoin. Like,
Do you have to plug into the
that's
computer?
what it sounds like to.
So this is where it gets complicated, right?
The Matrix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is where it gets complicated.
This is the key, ladies and
So
gentlemen.
there's miners. So what miners do is that they help process the blockchain. So you have this distributed ledger, right? And anytime a transaction is put onto the ledger, it needs to be verified by the entire network. And that's the job of the miners. Now, what the miners do is it's whoever verifies it first. Now, for them to verify it, they have to solve a very complex math equation, and it takes time, and it takes energy.
So they're doing math.
They're doing math, and when they
Props.
solve that problem,
I would never mind.
yeah, no, you're not doing it yourself. The
Oh, okay.
computers, you have.
Oh, okay.
So you have mining computers where they have like a whole bunch of video cards together, strung together, and they solve these complex problems. And when they solve the problem, they're rewarded with 50 bitcoins. Just recently, it got halved, so now they're rewarded 25 bitcoins. So, whatever 25 bitcoins.
So who's actually rewarding them? Who's giving these bitcoins?
So it's
to-
released onto the network. No one person is actually giving it or granting it.
So is it AI that's doing
Trump
it?
is. He's gonna do
It's from the blockchain. It's generated from the blockchain.
Okay.
Basically, that's the simplest way. It's a little bit more.
Damn, the simple way is pretty confusing.
Yeah.
Because I just want to know, like, why would you, like, it really does sound like a video game. Why would you give people money to, like, are they
because
helping the blockchain by
Yes.
solving these problems?
Because they're performing a public service.
Service. Oh, I see.
Gotcha.
Okay, then that makes sense.
This
They're
makes a lot of sense.
It's
now.
like,
They're performing a public service of verifying transactions and data from all around.
They're
the
doing
world.
work.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
doing work,
Yeah.
actual work.
They're like auditing the system a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Basically.
Morpheus.
Yeah. I think so.
Is
You
that
know,
air you're breathing?
one of the funny things, or one of the interesting things is that eventually, a lot of accounting jobs are going to disappear.
hey, wait a minute.
I'm not surprised at
I
that.
do taxes. I don't do formal.
Yeah.
Oh.
But a lot of
Wait.
accounting jobs are going to disappear because if you have this mechanism that automatically reconciles debits and credits,
You're right.
why do you need accountants to massage numbers for you?
Yeah.
For negotiation purposes.
For negotiation purposes, but if you have if your local government or your insurer says I want you to process your finances through a blockchain,
Well, that's eventually things are gonna get to that. I think because just the whole idea of the United States is one of the only countries that really even does this too, where it's like
What do you mean?
as far as taxes to say, all right, you tell us what you made and how you report it and what your deductions are and stuff like that. Whereas if they were just thinking of it as like the income that you get as you earn it could just get taxed at 20% or whatever, a flat tax rate.
Like in Europe.
Like
Yeah.
in Europe.
Yeah,
I think that would be ideal.
that
Um,
it would be, yeah. And especially as the less and less cash is in the system and that more stuff, blockchains and all these other things. As soon as they're implicated and I definitely see that happening. But man, so this Bitcoin stuff. Has that been any like?
I want to know when he thinks the dollar is going to fall.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
we
Let's
we were
get to
talking
that.
about that before.
Let's
the
stop
show.
putting that off. Let's get to that.
Yeah, we were talking about that
Listen,
before the show.
I am not Ben Bernanke or Janet Yellen.
You're Nostradamus.
Yeah, you're better. You're better than them, bro.
Funny.
Smarter than them, bro.
You know, the thing is, so long as any country is at war, you know, and you have banks backing them, this, you know, let me not say.
What's your
that,
theory with the
right?
whole Rothschild? Do you think they really run everything?
That's
Well, they control the Federal Reserve, right?
Yeah, basically.
And that's
the
everything.
rumor.
that I do not know, right? But
Yeah, I
I
don't
can
think
tell
I know.
you that the Federal Reserve is not federal; it's a
Private
privately
owned
owned
bank, yeah.
institution.
By the Rothschild. Fam.
Can be by anybody, you know. The shareholders are private,
It's Bilderberg.
and you know they
Which
are.
is scary. It's just scary to think of. Like,
I don't know if it's scary to think of, you know.
it's just
I mean-
deceiving, like Federal Reserve. And then it's
It's
not.
just a lot of,
because it is scary to think of. Because why not? Because the people that own interest in it, it's like they have everyone's got their own agenda for no matter what they do.
Well, you have to look at it two ways, right? So, one way is that, you know, with fiat currency, is that you run the risk of hyperinflation and the debasing and the devaluing of your currency, which weakens your purchasing power over time. That's the bad side. The good side of fiat currency
Do you
is
think-
that you can do so much with it in a short period of time,
Right.
you know?
Do you think America, like, we just lack foresight where it's like, all right, so we go to war, we wage war. That's good for certain people with certain interests. Overall, it's not good for our country, no? Because we're compiling all this debt. Every time we go to war, it's trillions and trillions of dollars, and it's like this is imaginary debt that we're never going to pay back. And
What
it's
is the
like,
debt now? Is it like 20 trillion?
I don't know what it is exactly, but don't you think, like, we have to perpetuate war? The whole military-industrial complex is like we're going to perpetuate this war, but certain people are getting rich. But overall, like, do you think the people that are in power now are like, all right, well, it's not my problem 50 years from now when I'm, you know, or do you think that, does that make sense what I'm trying to say to you?
Yeah, of course, it makes perfect sense. I guess in general,
Like, they're hurting the country, but
most people don't think that far anyway, and that goes for everybody, regardless of their position in life. In regards to the powers that be, and how they think down the road, I think they're definitely thinking down the road. They're just thinking about themselves, in a sense. I mean,
or when I said, what do you think the, you know, Trump getting in office, are we going to wage war? And you said, of course, we're going to wage war.
I think
There's
we're
going to be
gonna
another war. But then you said something interesting, too. Yeah, but it would have been the same thing as if Hillary got in
yeah.
office.
Well, Hillary would have waged war for you and I. Her motives would have been different. His motives.
I don't know
are
if I
different.
agree with that. I think
I
her
definitely
motives-
don't agree with that.
I think her motives would have been, you know,
think-
on the same level as
The same as Trump's.
as they always been.
It still has to be
I mean,
personal
but you
interest.
have to understand that Trump is a different beast altogether.
And the beast is only on the surface, no matter whether it's Trump or Hillary.
True.
Well, here's the thing,
The
right?
agenda's going to be the same.
The Clintons are different. The Clintons have a lot of stuff going on around the world.
On the
Well,
surface.
On the surface, the Trump has a lot of business interests, and he's entangled with a lot of
That's very true.
business entities around the world. And the way that he plants his flag is by, you know, stamping his name on all these towers around the world and golf courses. In regards to going to war, you have to define what war is, because we are at war right now.
Yeah, I know. Now I'm talking about waging war, like another war, like
Like a
saying
war
we're
on the
going,
scale
like even
of
though we
Iraq.
already have like
attacks in the
forces in
US.
Syria and
You know-
stuff like that. It's like, all right,
Does he
like,
have...
we're going into Syria now, like or another place, or we're going into
North Korea.
North Korea.
The North Korean thing is really interesting.
North Korea.
Without saying too many specifics about North
man.
Korea or any other spot, just on waging war itself, like. Wait, where were we going? I'm getting going.
You were like, do you you were asking him
Like
basically.
the ultimate goal is like we're gonna continue to wage war, and you
Yeah.
say it's different when Trump does it versus Hillary.
Yeah. You know what?
You're saying
Strap
Republicans have more
It's a-
personal interests?
Republicans definitely have more personal interest, but then, as he was saying, you know, they are different wings on the same bird, basically.
Right.
So let's keep it that simple, because war is war at the end of the day.
Right.
To a degree, you know, people are hurt, people die, you know, money's spent.
Money, yeah.
It's a betting,
Money's earned.
Yeah, money's earned.
Money is
You know,
definitely earned before.
More made than lost.
Hell yeah.
It's way, yeah. I mean, especially rebuilding the countries after destroying
I
them.
mean, yeah, the
Yeah.
contractors-
Oh, yeah.
And
the
then
contractors
putting
is-
the country, putting people to work.
And get out
Creating
government
jobs at the
contracts
same time.
and shit. Yeah.
I think it's as simple as the people who fund the campaign. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. They're gonna
Like
get
when the whole thing with
pockets
Bush
lined.
went down, you know, they waged all this war. A lot of people said it was a lot of bullshit behind, which we actually watched on television. Them destroy Iraq after some shit that happened that's supposed to have to do with whatever went down in Afghanistan, right? But it was all about, in my opinion, it was all about oil. And then you look at the fact that Dick Cheney had his hands in, I guess, with Halliburton and all of the missile company or whatever.
Yeah.
And now we have this war, and
Blackwater.
that's the money. Now, same thing you say about Trump. I feel like whatever Trump is into, he want to build that wall. Like he is already into real estate the same way Cheney was already into missile technology and weapon development or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, as far as waging war, I mean, you find a way to point war. If it come through Trump, it's probably coming through somebody who handed money to him, unless it has to do with maybe taking some land that he can dish out to the people he work with. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as war is concerned, I believe if there's gonna be a war, there will be a war, regardless of what person is in place. You know what I'm saying? Hillary, it'd have been the same outcome.
Cheney having stake in Halliburton and like just it being public domain that, you know, this company is related to Warren's getting rich off of war. Just it being so out there and so clear as day made you really think like, wow, they can really do anything in front of our face and no one's really going to step
And
up
they
and say
don't
anything.
care about it. They don't care about what you think.
Exactly.
I think it goes back to
That's
what,
why- that's
Charles
why-
was saying. It's like if they take him, with the bank takes your money, you know, FDIC
What are you
decide,
gonna
what are
do
you
about it?
really going to do?
What are you really going to
What are you
do?
really gonna do?
I mean,
Yeah.
if you go to the bank right
I'll
now,
fucking be pissed.
Shout out
I mean-
to Joe and Nick. They're chiming in with good comments here.
I
But
mean, if you go to the bank, you know, the same thing is like, you know, you go to the bank and, you know, you notice $50 is taken out of your account from the bank. I mean, yeah, you could, you know, blah, 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 blah with the bank, with the branch manager, but, I mean, how far is it really going to go, you know?
right.
I mean,
I'm getting my motherfucking money. I can tell you that.
yeah, I mean, I've done it, but then it's ultimately up to the goodness of their heart.
He got me wanting me to check my bank account
Dude,
right now.
you know,
I'm like, what's going on?
It's up to the it's up to them to actually reimburse you or whatever. Now, you know, someone said this on a comment on Stefan Molyneux's Facebook page, and
Yeah.
he's like a commenter on YouTube.
Yeah, I know him.
Yeah, some of the stuff I agree with. Most of the stuff I feel like he's out of context.
Right.
So he's not in the context to understand.
I understand. I get that from
yeah.
him too.
So, someone said that democracy is like two lions and a lamb deciding what to eat for dinner.
Right.
And the reason why I say that, or the reason why I bring that up is that democracy, it's good, but it has to be contextual, and then it also has to be within an educated electorate. I mean, when you really look at it, Trump and Hillary Clinton was probably more credentialed, or equally as credentialed as Barack Obama when he first ran for president.
Right.
So it should have been a no-brainer that not only did she win the popular vote, but then the electoral college should have fallen in line.
The same reason.
Not necessarily, because her past is a lot
Yeah,
more tainted
exactly.
than Barack's was when he
Barack's.
ran.
Yes.
And the same reason that you said that people lost faith in the banks and why this is getting popular is the same reason why Trump got popular.
Yes, people lost faith in politics because they felt like their voice wasn't heard, and
Just
a
the overall
myriad-
system.
yeah, a
Well,
myriad-
half of the
yeah.
country felt that way.
Yeah, half of the country. But here's the thing, you know, just because, you know, you don't like just because your car is giving you some kind of issues, you're not gonna push it into the Hudson for a bicycle, you know.
Yeah.
And that's essentially what we've done. You know,
That is a great example.
Trump bicycles, get them now. At the sharper image with Trump stakes.
The front wheel falls off.
no brakes. So yeah, that's what we've done. I mean, where was I going with this? Actually?
What are your predictions as far as like when Trump?
With Trump?
Yeah. Because I think he's very like hard to predict.
He's a very
even though like part of me is like, oh, this is simple. Like he's gonna come in.
You think he's being controlled?
He's a very nuanced.
That I don't even know.
He's a very nuanced person. So there's good parts to him and there's bad parts to him. There's a lot of bad parts to him. The nuances. I mean, when you really think about it, I mean, wouldn't you want someone like Trump to be your father? I mean, he put his daughter, like, you know, down the hall from him. He took put all his mans on board. Like, that's something that, you know, if one of your mans...
Didn't he have sex with his daughter, though?
That, you know, that's
tried to make out with her.
That's some Games of Thrones shit right there.
That's what Trevor Noah has been alluding to.
Do you think Trump is being controlled at all? Do you think that
he's definitely not he's not the orchestrator of his life. I don't think so.
Yeah.
He is just more,
with the type of shit that's coming out of his mouth and the type of mishaps he got going on, I doubt. I think
there's
that
more to it
they
than,
might be
than
trying to control certain
I think that when he like won the Republican nominee and they started briefing him about real shit, I think he was like,
things changed.
Kofifi.
I think he was like,
as they do with
not
all
cold feet
candidates.
because he's not
Kofifi.
He's
not cold feet. Kofifi.
Oh,
Kofi.
Do you know? Yes, Kofifi.
He's not the type. He's not the type to back. He's not gonna back down.
Nah.
But I think that he kind of fucking realized like, holy shit, like
that is
this
more
is
difficult.
Yeah, this ain't gonna be a fucking
I can't just
cakewalk.
drain the swamp.
It's not gonna be a cakewalk. It's not. I'm not gonna be able to do exactly what I want to do, even though.
Well,
like
It was just bizarre, like the things he even said about the Federal Reserve. Like when he was running, he was like, you know, like
he was on almost like a Alex Jones,
like
type
taking
level.
that complete. Yeah, exactly.
So if you remember,
you never heard that from a presidential.
He's
serious
friends with
candidate.
Alex Jones.
Yeah,
That
you
was
can
one of the
remember though,
wisest- that's one of the
Jones-
wisest things that any candidate's done, and I think that's gonna go to play a part in.
What do you mean?
To tap into internet media and their followings.
Oh yeah, I mean, here's the thing: Barack Obama pioneered the whole interfacing with the public through social media.
Well, he was the
He actually
social
went on
media
Alex
president
Jones'
though.
show.
Social media
Because
president.
think about it, before him with George
There
Bush,
was no
There
social.
was
there was social
Yeah.
media, but people wasn't using it as that type of platform.
That's
we
why
were
Fox was so much
on
more powerful,
YouTube,
too.
but the world media and the media, they have yet to catch up to. You
Right.
know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
At that time, we were the YouTubers and shit.
Yeah.
We were using it as a form, but so Barack Obama is the
He's the pioneer of it.
the internet media president. He's the one. So, and like I was gonna say, I don't know if you could remember back, but Barack Obama had made all these promises and he said all this shit that he wanted to do as soon as he got into office. And maybe, I don't know if you remember, but somewhere in his first week of presidency, he alluded in a way to the fact that, once you get in here,
It's different.
and you
It's a
learn
different ball
certain
game.
things, you realize while shit is set in place and everything that you think you want to do, you might not want to do.
Exactly.
And I remember Barack saying that shit a week into his presidency, kind of alluding to the fact like, hey, look, I went and sat in that office and got some information that kind of fucked my head up a little bit. And, some certain things I may not be able to
He
do.
got
like I
briefed to
thought.
some
You can
shit
see
that he
that.
wasn't
Right,
he wasn't
that, you
privy
know.
to.
Hey, you
got
know
told
what?
that
Even
it's
happens to
aliens, bro.
everybody.
It's the
Bush
aliens.
said some shit
telling
like
you,
that
man.
too, because Bush was like, I think when Barack Obama, he'll realize that we set certain things in place
Yeah.
for a reason. And I remember,
We don't need a president, man. We got to get rid of this title. We have to get rid of that somehow.
the country needs
And
to figure
political
that out.
and political parties.
The political
That-
parties.
that we can
here's
get
the
rid of.
thing, right? The political parties.
It's such bullshit.
It is nonsense because we only have two. We only have really. We only have really two choices.
We have the Bloods and the Crips.
basically.
Yeah.
And no one ever
and
really
the-
fits into each category.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because there's certain things that I agree with that maybe more
That's
Conservative,
why it's unreal.
and then
to-
you
Right.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
unreal.
That's what I'm saying. You cannot be anyone that is overwhelmingly on one side is a fraud,
right.
Yeah.
to an extent, because
Bill
if you
O'Reilly.
agree,
Like
if
a
you
Bill O'Reilly.
yeah, if
Exactly.
you agree with somebody, like how long I know you for, we don't agree on everything. We can't,
Yeah.
because if we are, then we're not being true to us.
Yeah. You're not being
I
true to
I
yourself.
cannot agree with everything that you say, and vice versa. With any, it's just not. It's not. I don't think it's possible. You can
Right.
agree with most shit. That's why you're friends with people,
Yeah.
Sound like
and
the
you get
beginning
along
of a
with
good
people.
song.
But you can't agree with someone on it. It's just impossible.
It's impossible. I can't agree.
And that's why I follow. That's why like Trump supporters, they just remind me of Hillary supporters, in the fact that they
Well,
will blindly support somebody.
It's both. Anyone
Yeah.
that's so hardcore.
Well,
is-
That's what I'm saying.
Here's the thing about Trump supporters, right? There's two types. There's those who are like business owners and entrepreneurs. They
Right.
feel like-
There's Republicans
You know,
by
they-
because their economic principles match what.
Yeah, exactly. Then there's those who are just not literate, and they may not be stupid, but they're not literate in terms of understanding the whole context of what they've bought into. That this person
Yeah.
is going to take away their health care.
Yeah.
This person is going to, he's going to take away their education.
There's always
He's
The
go-
voter is not educated.
The voter's not educated, and the thing is, here's my thing, right? People are going to may disagree with this, but I feel like for you to be able to vote, you should be able to pass a literacy test on your candidate. So on the candidates rather.
I kind of agree with
That's
that.
really
Meaning
good.
to say that the candidates would come out with a book, and you'd have to read this book, and you'd answer
Man,
a
that's
test.
bullshit.
Nah,
What
man.
if you Americans, every American can't read, but because you can't read,
Every American, listen. if
I mean,
you
not
can't-
every American can read,
If
but
you
you should
cannot
not be
read-
able to vote because you can't read.
You shouldn't be able to vote. If
That's
you,
But we
bullshit.
you should not.
It's
be,
not-
Okay, and what
it's-
about the ones who can't see? What about you understand what I'm saying?
No,
You can't
Yeah,
Hold
but
read.
there's ways
hold on,
around that. There's
hold on.
Braille.
Yeah,
There's ways around that.
Literacy is not literacy is not
And it's
confined
mightier.
to.
But it doesn't mean you can't
to-
understand.
It's not that.
hearing.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you can't understand what you hear. I mean, you can listen to
You should,
people.
be
You
able,
understand what
you
I'm
should be
saying?
able to have to prove that you
Well, here-
know
okay, here, I'll give you
the
the
ins
best-
and outs of your candidate.
No,
To
you
an
should.
extent.
The proof that you need is the fact that you are a citizen of this country. Period.
No, I'll give you.
That's
the
it.
I'll give-
Period.
I'll
Nah,
give you-
period.
I'll
That's
give you the perfect-
bullshit.
I'll give you the perfect.
Period.
I don't think
Nah.
that's
Hold on.
bullshit.
I'll give you the perfect
Bullshit.
example, right?
That's
Here's-
bullshit.
Debate it.
I'll give you the perfect example, right?
Okay.
Debate it.
Okay.
All right,
bet.
so check it, right? Let's say we lived in a town of 1,000 people, right? And we're gonna keep it real, right? There's only 10 black people in that whole town, right? And there's one hospital, and they have to allocate X amount of doctors, right? And let's say 3 of these 10 black people have sickle cell, right? And
Yo, bro, you are
Hold on.
taking this analogy way too far. Like I got yo.
Let's hear him out. Let's hear him out.
Okay,
Let's
I'm gonna
hear
hear you
him
out. All right.
Hold on. 3 of these black people have sickle cell, right? And you take a vote of the entire town to allocate funds for sickle cell, right? Now this analogy is no different than if you had a town of 1,000 people and only 10 of them are old, and you're asking the rest of the young population to vote on Alzheimer's treatment or dementia treatment. It is out of their context.
So you're saying vote for.
So
Yeah, but they're
so
gonna
the
be
thing
old
is-
one day. So
Yeah, but the thing is, when
not
it
like they
comes
can't understand it.
when it comes to voting, right? Voting and statistics, they only matter when you factor in context and the nuance. And so when you have people who are voting for things based on because
Majority of people that I know
they vote
that have
based
these
on-
conversations
Uh-huh.
don't even vote.
Yeah, I
That is very
I
true.
don't vote.
That is very true.
But you know
It's
what?
usually the most
don't vote.
passionate ones are the most ignorant ones, bro.
Whatever you vote
that's
on,
true.
whatever you base it on, so be it. It's your fucking right to vote. Period.
I don't care if
And
you-
the fact that
I
you
understand
are
that.
a
Frank,
part
did you
of this
vote?
country,
No.
you should
I
be
didn't
able
vote.
to vote, and that is
I didn't
that.
vote. Did you vote? If you did, that's fine.
That.
Did you
That
vote?
is that.
Okay.
Yeah, I voted.
Did you
I
vote?
don't vote.
Yes, I voted. I
You
always
voted?
vote.
Okay,
If
all right.
you-
So I
and-
always
and-
did
and
not vote.
This brings me to a great
my
quote.
reason for,
Go ahead. Well, a George Carlin quote. I think everyone knows if you vote and you elect, I'm paraphrasing, dishonest and incompetent leaders, you are to blame because you put them in office. If I didn't vote,
But we're
it's
usually
not, I have nothing to
get
do with
that,
it. I
and
can complain about
I
it.
usually agree with that, but people now are just voting for lesser of two evils. It's like
Let's
no
have
one,
two evils, and it's a
no
it's
one
a
there is
popular-
voting for someone that's like
It's a popularity contest because
obviously,
And
that's why
that's
Trump
wrong.
did
That's
so well.
wrong.
Yeah, that's the thing, and that's what's wrong because most people do not know. If you knew what you were voting for, you would not vote the way you vote.
Exactly.
Right.
You know, and that's basically
It's all
in the
about
gist of
knowledge, yeah.
what I'm getting at. Not to, and you know, I'm not saying that we should invalidate people's votes or we should exclude certain people from voting. It's more so to
I'm just
To
saying,
make the quality of voting-
excluding people to vote merely based on the fact that
That's
they
a good-
cannot
that's a
read
good
is
comment,
a
Joe,
terrible,
Yeah,
a
but
terrible
the
thing
li-
to say
the
or even
likely-
think.
the
It's not
likely-
right.
I understand exactly what you're saying, and you're right. But the likelihood of you encountering people not being able to read right now, it's very small.
It's
Do
really
we know what
small
the
where.
literacy,
Huh?
literacy? Do we know what the literacy rate is in America?
Right.
All right. Well, the literacy rate in America is not 100%, right?
But what
let's
is
be-
it? For you to
huh?
make that statement, what is it? That's what I'm saying.
I'm-
Base
I'm
it on
looking it up
something,
right
you
All
know?
right, hold on. I'll bring
You
it
know,
up right
like
now.
yeah, base it.
I would say that the majority of the American voters are literate.
32 million Americans can't read in the U.S.
Wow.
That's a lot
Right.
of people.
So you mean to
Yeah,
tell me
but-
32 million
But what-
people
32
should not be able to
32
vote?
out of
What
what,
is their
though?
age? What is their age range? It's
That
like, what
doesn't
is-
matter. We talking about illiterate.
It
Oh,
does.
these are
it
adults.
doesn't matter.
These are adults.
Oh,
These are
adults.
These are not-
18
not
and
children.
over. Vote.
Right.
Vote.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
But I mean, look at this, right? All right. You know, my whole thing is that voting is a popularity contest, and that is not how you come up with quality
Exactly.
candidates.
You can't
Or-
do it that way.
Or rather, that's not how you come up with quality outcomes. And you know, it's not to invalidate anyone's vote because if you're born here, you are afforded rights, regardless.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
and you're afforded rights. No one should remove your rights. Now, in regards to literacy, right? There is a campaign. You know, first off, everybody should be able to read, and it's not everyone's fault that they cannot read, and that's because the quality of education you're afforded is determined by your zip code,
Right.
right?
And it's also determined by the people who are in power.
Well, yeah, that's on the higher stratosphere. But in a general sense, the education you're allowed
The
to
amount
get
of money in your area.
is determined by the zip code that you're in.
Yeah.
So, really and truly, no one should be illiterate because we're one of the wealthiest countries
Makes
on
no
the face
fucking
of it.
sense.
It doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense,
Right.
you know. So, you know, that's another.
That's a great point. Just
you know.
just for the fact that it's like your county taxes, your school taxes goes into the school budget, and it's just
Your
that's a whole
education-
cycle. But like we have so much wealth as a country. What the fuck is going on?
Education in California should be equivalent to education in New York, should be equivalent to education in Alaska, Hawaii, and
It's
Puerto
not
Rico
either.
and Guam.
It's
and
not.
It's not. You know?
Even in the state alone, I knew
I know.
I knew people who
Scary,
came to school, came to like my elementary school from like the Bronx and shit,
Yeah.
and they were like they didn't know what sex they were.
Bro, even in
They
Westchester,
like they literally
you know
in
Shy
like
that was on the podcast.
sixth grade, they didn't know what sex they were.
Shy
like-
that was on the
That's
podcast. He moved from like Mount Vernon public schools and he went to like Cortland Manor.
Yeah.
I think when he was like middle school or something like that. And they were like, bro, you're like 2 grades behind.
Yeah,
Like you need like he was like
It's-
on like a 3rd grade
and that's
reading
the
level
same.
or some
That's
shit.
fucking.
And like he had to do like
30
summer
minutes.
school and everything. And
Yeah.
yeah, that's in the same county.
That's what I'm
The
saying.
same county. You know.
I do agree. I think a point that maybe you're trying to get to, like maybe in high school, there needs to be a major civics class that like you have to pass.
Oh, education is fucked.
I mean, that's the problem. No one understands. You know, how many people are in the Senate? How do people get voted in the Senate? How many terms? People don't understand the basic math of the White House or of our government at all. And like you said, it's a popularity contest. I heard Chris Rock made a great point. He was on a radio station, and he was like, I feel none of them, neither Hillary nor Trump should have ran because, what did he say? He said, was it the Greek or the Romans? They said you can't be a celebrity and run. You can't be famous, and you can't be related to a politician. So Trump being a celebrity,
no one would ever be president. Then.
Right? Yeah. Exactly. And
Barack would be one of the only ones, probably.
One of the few, right?
Because he came out of relative obscurity.
Exactly. And not having someone that's related. So the fact that Hillary is there, you know, she was a legacy. That was one of the other reasons
supposedly
that she lost.
Barack Obama is related to Bush.
Yeah, that whole blood.
They said Lincoln somewhere.
They probably are.
Obama, Bush's.
Yeah,
but it's just like it's going back to your point. It's a popularity contest. It's not actually based on the facts.
So to me, you know, and just to clarify, you know, like to me, my perspective on it is that because it's a popularity contest, it almost invalidates the legitimacy of the outcome. That's
like music though. That's like it's literally a popularity contest.
It is, but you know, see the thing.
But that's music.
That's
though.
music.
No, that's the person behind the music. Cause the music is really
it's more valid because it's entertainment. So to be popular, you're more.
Yeah,
but really, you're not more entertaining. You're just more popular.
That's the point.
Because it's subjective.
I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
Subjective.
I mean, like there's so many good artists.
I like Star Wars,
like,
and you don't. So it's like, but it is subjective.
No, we're splitting hairs doing that because, like...
Well, I understand what you're saying, but it is subjective.
Because even though Star Wars isn't my cup of tea, I can look at it and be like, I can see why people think it's dope.
Yeah, you can understand something.
Like Action Bronson.
I love Action Bronson.
I see why, but I can't feel him at all.
We got a caller coming in.
Action Bronson is on the line, and he's going to talk about food.
Let's go, Action.
I'm fucking starving.
He's
Action.
dope. He's dope.
Gone.
Uh-oh.
Who's this now?
Big Mike?
Gone. What's good, guys?
What's good, bro? What's going
The
on?
weekly caller.
I saw you call me earlier, too, on the person.
I got to support.
Who's calling in?
What's going on?
I'm just listening to you guys. It's interesting stuff you guys are talking about. I think the whole popularity thing, unfortunately, that's like life in general, right? Like, why do you like certain clothes? Why do you vote for this person? Why do you like this music? A lot of people are sheep, unfortunately, right? And it's like, people love this.
But
this is really cool, so I just kind of follow along.
We all are victims to it, but it's like...
But that's why we're bringing up the point of having to actually know what your candidate stands for through and through. Other than just saying, I'm not voting for Hillary because she's a cunt.
We probably know more, like,
you know?
I probably know more about my favorite, everyone knows more about their favorite artist than the president and shit, you know what I mean? It's like.
Yeah.
You know what the best thing is, though, and I do it all the time. Honestly, I always laugh about it. They should do this at the polls. Every time the election comes, right, there's different websites, right, where, like, they'll just ask you 30 questions. They'll be like, what do you think about gay marriage? What do you think about those questions, whatever.
We're losing you.
Oh, man.
Bro. You on A, B, C, D, yeah.
The Illuminati heard you talking.
Because then you're not, and they're like, well, I'm a Republican, and I'm like Donald Trump, and you're just going, what do I want in my life, right? Boom, 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 and all of a sudden you're like, oh, shit, like that actually aligns with Hillary, or vice versa, and you're not being a sheep just because you think it's cool to vote for one person or the other. You're just voting.
That's a very good idea. Very good idea. And it kind of makes the whole voting process a little bit more objective, as opposed to.
It should be voting if it's gonna be done right. It has to be a national holiday. People should not have to go to work.
That's the other thing.
Well,
and it should last more than a weekend.
Almost every other country.
It should be on a weekend. It's on a Tuesday. It shouldn't be on a work day.
It shouldn't be one day either.
That's what I'm saying. It should last more than a weekend.
What if shit happened that day?
It's not a weekend. It's one day. It's on a Tuesday.
Yeah, but it's a little bit different because you can vote in absentia.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, fair enough.
That shit is weird too. They be saying like, well, this state is this, and I'm like, bro, we haven't even voted yet.
Yeah.
Well, the absentee votes are in.
And you can only if you look right here,
Minnesota, Missouri, Green Bay.
That's what
right?
I did.
Come back around.
That's what I
We're out
did.
here in Connecticut, but wait a minute, we have a problem because right here in Greenville, Cali, and see. If you
Yo,
like those,
who watched C-
look,
did you watch CNN that night with the white dude on the smart board in the background?
He
the
was
whole
no,
night?
that's
he was going in.
He was crushing it.
Yo, did you
He
see?
was crushing it.
King, but this
No
is the
one
thing.
has ever
I
executed
remember,
a smart board like that.
That
yo,
dude-
I remember when he first came out. It was like when Barack was running. They just bought that shit out. He was like,
Yeah.
"This is the new board here. We got."
My man invented
it was
the
John,
GPS,
it's John King,
bro.
right? Then the
Yeah,
next,
John King,
and
yeah,
every
John
4 years, he just get nicer with that shit.
Bro, he invented-
Now
If
If
he
you
be
look here in
like,
Michigan,
bah, 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 bah.
Sullivan County up here, that's usually
Yeah,
60%
he-
Democratic.
Uh-huh,
but,
but
you know,
wait a minute,
back
if
in
it just-
08, Romney made a quick run for it, but
Yo, he invented
Look in there.
GPS, bro. He
Stat
knows
book,
every
too.
fucking neighborhood. He
Yeah.
knows every neighborhood.
He does.
Like, bro,
He love
why-
that.
Why don't you
he
run
be
for
going in?
president, sir?
He love it. Yo,
I might vote
John
for
King
that
love
guy.
that shit.
The
might
magic
vote for that
wall, they
guy.
call that shit.
Nichols only do worth a paycheck on CNN.
Uh-oh, and there's a problem. It's all blue.
Wait, I'm trying to find
Oh,
the video.
man, if you guys haven't checked
Yo,
this
the
out, it's
first,
worth
the
just,
first one when he first
Just
did it.
YouTube it. He's killing. He killed it.
Holy
Wait, let me
smokes.
see if I get this.
Oh, that's not even. That's the other dude. That's Wolf Blitzer. There you go.
Statistical tie in Battleground, Nevada.
Oh, man.
Let's move over to the state of Colorado.
this is
I was
him.
here just a
Watch
little more than
him
a week
right
ago.
here, look,
It was a very
here's the
close
problem.
race. Democrats were starting to feel good.
wish this
Post-debate,
guy was my
bang,
dad.
there you go.
Hold
Dead heat.
Hold on.
The PX,
Can you
CBS, New
pause
York
that
Times
real
poll
quick?
in
Sure.
Colorado.
If you look at that map, right? You see the way that the map is oriented, right? When they had zoomed in, right? A lot of that is as a result of gerrymandering.
What is that?
So gerrymandering is a practice that politicians, what they do is they carve up basically territory for themselves.
Right.
And that's how they're able to swing votes in their favor.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
You're
so-
saying they're only going to visit certain things that are worth their time? Or
No. What they do is that the way that they cut up the
Like
We've already decided if the state is going to be
Republicans-
blue or red.
Republicans candidates will have it set up to whereas like not as many Democratic voters are going to come out their way and vote
yeah.
in that town. So it's going to be a lot of Republican voters, is what he's getting at.
Yeah. And so like that also
I've heard of this.
should be an illegal practice because it skews votes. It skews the voting power of a voting block in favor of one person or against another,
Yeah.
or just totally.
What's happening in
renders
North
it-
Carolina, right?
Yeah, or just totally renders
Yeah.
it inert.
I think I remember hearing about that.
Yeah. So
There's a lot of things we're sitting here saying. There's a lot of things that should be done and should, but it's the fact that the matter and the reality is it's just not.
It's not going to change. To me,
It's not.
this is the
That's why
deterioration
Frank
of
B
the
with the
country.
positive outlook of the night.
Oh,
But
it's
come
like
on,
this,
let's be. I mean,
it can change. I really.
Oh yeah, it can
I'm not
change in a
saying it
second, but
could.
this is easy to take advantage of, so they won't.
I'm not
It's
saying
it's
it
not gonna
can't change. I'm just saying I wholeheartedly believe it won't. And that's just the reality of it.
Define what you mean by change.
The electoral college.
We'll bring in change to the election process.
Bring in the things that you were saying, having a smarter voting population,
things like
having
that.
just
And-
better,
Okay, yeah.
more
and
clear,
getting rid of
honest
political
elections. Like,
parties.
it's not going to happen.
Yeah, that
Getting rid of political parties and things like that.
That won't happen.
Getting rid of the Federal Reserve. That's
Getting
not
rid
gonna
of the Federal Reserve. Getting rid of
Now
the
that is
idea
where
of a president.
The getting rid
what's
of
his name? Ron Paul.
Ron Paul.
That's his whole idea.
That's his whole
You know,
thing.
if people were smart, if Americans were really smart, they would have voted for Ron Paul a long
That was
time
my
ago.
guy, bro.
Yeah.
Ron Paul
he
is
seems to
actually
have-
the one. He got some wild shit going on.
But you see the problem with.
Every time I listened to him, I just felt like I was learning.
But you see the thing about Ron, the issue with Ron Paul, right, is he was too intelligent, and
Exactly.
not only that, the way that
When he
vote-
talks to people, the
He's very
general
smart.
population
Yeah.
is not understanding what he's saying.
But the other issue about it is that the way that the media works is that the media only focuses on two candidates. One of the issues that one of the reasons why Trump came into power is that they gave him all this free airtime.
Oh yeah, they backfired everything.
billions of dollars
Yeah.
worth.
and
of airtime.
it's short. Everything's headline
Yeah.
news. So it's like
Well, the
that's
thing
why
of-
it's a slogan: "Make America Great Again." That's why it's change. Or Barack
Trump
Obama.
won
That's why
his
it's
time,
you
though.
gotta have your slogan is so important, bro. It's just like, oh, I know what that guy's for.
Yeah.
Trump was super entertaining. He won his media time. Like Trump was being covered just by for every day he said some
But he
shit
wasn't
that
saying much. He really wasn't saying much.
It doesn't matter.
No, I know,
That's
but
the
he
thing.
had-
Like, if you
But
really
that's
look
what
at
I'm
it,
getting at.
He
It
had
does
no
matter.
competition getting there
Like,
either. It was like the
Trump-
Warriors going to the finals this year.
Yeah.
But really though,
Yeah.
Trump really did something.
It really
for
was for both of them.
everybody.
Yeah.
I was listening and
No, well, she had Bernie, but
But come on, they fucked
they stabbed
Bernie.
him in the back.
They
They
stabbed him.
fucked Bernie.
They messed him up.
But you know, I was
And
listening-
he came out and supported her after that, and I was like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, fuck that.
No,
bro.
no, because he's not a sore loser. That's the thing.
But it's not about being a sore loser at that point when you know that there's a good chance that you were
Fucked
duped and like
over.
Yeah,
blatantly
but-
fucked.
hoodwinked and bamboozled.
He had such, especially at that moment before he did that, he
He
was
had
building
momentum.
such a core following and natural influence over a lot of people. For him to do that made so many people. I know it made me and a lot of other people that were like, this guy's kind of cool. Like, just
And
be
he
like,
was less
fuck
of,
that guy.
He was less of a target for Trump. Like, what is Trump really going to say about him that he,
He was
like,
definitely not a target for Trump.
That's what I'm saying. In reference to, like, Clinton's such an easy target. The Wall Street, how she's getting paid to speak on Wall Street, she won't release a transcript. Her husband
her
is
falling sick.
Yeah.
Like
There's
all
like
these
there's a whole
little
bunch of things.
Minutia too.
Benghazi,
which wasn't her fault.
but
Hold on,
it
real
still
quick.
brings.
I
it's
want to
still
just talk about
a
that
cloud.
Benghazi thing for a second, right? You know what's so funny about the whole Benghazi thing is, right? Just imagine your country just got invaded, right? And they just tore shit up, right? And you know what country did this? And they have an embassy still in operation in your country. Would you not go there? Just think about that. That's exactly what happened in Iran. The Iranian Revolution. The what's the name? The guy that was with J-Lo.
Puffy.
No, the other guy.
Ben Affleck.
Ben
Ben
Affleck.
Affleck.
He did a movie on that.
Argo.
Where,
Oh, I didn't see that.
yeah. Which basically, what happened was they went and trashed the American embassy. Now, for anyone to point the finger at Hillary Clinton over Benghazi, it's stupid because number one, right, she wasn't like really in operation of that, right? But then on top of that, you just invaded a country, a sovereign country, a country that, prior to that was pretty much flourishing, and had no worse human rights record than Iran and China and Russia. So, if Libya deserved to get invaded, Saudi Arabia should have gotten invaded also, along with a whole list of other countries. And so, for you to say that, well, it's her fault, it's really not her fault. You just messed up their country that was flourishing.
Well, it is what it is now.
It is what it is now, obviously, but, you just have to put things into perspective and context that, you highlight that these people who, it's unfortunate they got hurt at the embassy and they got killed, but then that's, you're not...
the emails that she had.
You're not focusing on the country that got destroyed, for no reason. That's the bigger picture. But yeah, on the email thing, that too is just stupid,
But I'm saying though, there was clouds over Hillary.
Yeah, there's definitely
as her being a legitimate candidate, and not a piece of shit.
Because to me, the whole thing with Hillary was it wasn't so much what she did, it was how she handled it. Like, even with the email shit.
Yeah.
She just kept dragging her feet as far as just coming clean and all that
Why-
shit. Like, Americans will forgive. People
And
don't
what did
care.
Trump
There's some
say?
people
Lock
I
her
remember
up. Lock
ran a
her
bad
up.
campaign.
And that and shit like that. Like
Hillary and I remember John Kerry. I was just thinking like, bro, this dude Bush is like, we're in suspect territory right now with this guy. Like in the middle, like when he was getting reelected. Like, you have to run a piss poor campaign for you not to, like, really come in there.
Yeah, to lose to Trump?
lose.
Jesus Christ.
Well, that too, but just the way that she's not vocal about certain things and, like, the things that she decided to put her attention on, like, about him, like, with women and shit like that.
Right.
Like, bitch, you married Bill Clinton.
Right,
Yeah.
right. She was
Like,
hypocritical
like,
on almost every stuff
Clinton-
For her not to even see how the public would perceive that,
What do you-
it's just
hold on,
terrible.
Hold on, explain that over.
She's saying like
You
Bill
only
Clinton-
have so much time, like, within that span, and you're only so many focal points that you're gonna get across to the public. So, like, for what you decide to make those,
or to attack, how to attack
your opponent, especially toward the end when it's just you and him, like, and not coming out and speaking more about the emails or Benghazi or even defending herself on some of that stuff, and the things she decided to attack Trump for is just like, it just weren't heavy blows when this is a person when you can throw heavy blows. Like, and I said that referencing like John Kerry because I thought that when he was running against Bush, like, yo, we're in Iraq right now, we haven't caught Osama, we don't know what we're doing, a bunch of kids are dying right now, like, we're in a bed, we're just overall like in a suspect spot, and it's like, how do you not come in there and you're not throwing haymakers in your debates about this?
And
like,
we
you know,
were in a
and
recession.
then he's killing you because you're a flip flopper. That's what his whole thing was.
Totally.
Oh, John Kerry's a flip flopper, and you went to war. And John Kerry, I believe, was dude that went to war. Bush never did. It's like, how can you not step in there and be like, you were never at war, and you're sending people to war. I was in war. Blah blah blah. Like, how do you not throw haymakers like that, bro?
Yeah.
Like, I just think it was a piss poor campaign by Hillary to be like, oh, we're gonna attack you for being sexist and be this and,
Right, you were like,
and be married to Bill Clinton.
Clinton.
Like, I just think you gotta pick your poison a little better than that. I don't know. I mean, that was my whole.
He's like, I'm done.
I see what
Yeah, I was.
But it's true.
I was I don't know if it was the Breakfast Club or Brilliant Idiots, but Charlemagne said something one day that had me thinking, wow, he's right. Was how when a lot of people talk about, especially black people, how when Barack Obama became president, it did something for the culture and for black people because it let them know, like, you could
do
actually
anything.
do anything.
Exactly.
But he said, in reality, when you think about it, when you look at Barack Obama, he's Harvard educated, he's a lawyer, he did, you know what I'm saying? He's handsome and talk. Like, why wouldn't he be able to be president? But when you look at Trump, Trump is actually an idiot. He's not bright. You know what I'm saying? And he did.
I don't think Trump
He ran
was
the
an
campaign.
idiot.
No,
He's
but
not
hear
an
me out
idiot.
though. He ran. The
I know what you're trying to
campaign
say.
He doesn't
the way
read
he
books.
did, and he was able to become president. So, if anybody, he should say to the American people that you can do and be anything and become a president. You know, way more than Barack Obama. Because when you look at Obama's,
But that's two
record,
different examples though, because I know exactly what you're saying, and I don't want to like bring it into this, but Barack is a specific example for Black Americans to say I can be president.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where it's like Trump's like just like no matter what your race, your creed, background, education is,
And
you can be president. Just give it a fucking shot.
You can do anything.
You can be a reality
and
TV
be
star,
president.
a reality TV star, and become president.
Right.
Literally, that is what
he
we
did
have.
Is more amazing than what Barack did.
Say that over.
What basically, you know what I'm saying?
Wait, what?
It's tough.
What
It's
he
close.
did
It might
was
it's
more
close.
amazing
I
than
don't
what
know,
Barack
man.
did. Because he
I see what
literally
he's
did not give a fuck and won the over
Looking back at it
highly
now.
qualified candidate.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know, man.
You know what I'm
What,
saying?
I see what he's saying. I mean, when he really, here's the thing though. With Trump though, he had a track record already, and his track record was
Grab the
His-
bitches by the ass.
By the pussy.
Right? Yeah, grab him by the
His
pussy.
his
That was his track record.
His
Right?
track record was he had all these real estate holdings, and then he had the TV show. So he had this presence already.
He had a brand.
He had a brand. Hillary Clinton didn't really have a brand.
She didn't have an identity.
What are you talking
No
about?
way.
She didn't.
Are you
In
kidding me?
She did not have the FaceTime like Trump did.
Nah, I'm not buying
When you
it.
think
I'm not
about
buying
it, we
it.
talking about
Hillary
the presidency.
was
We're
out-
not talking about like
Hillary
Bro,
Clinton,
I knew who Hillary Clinton. Maybe this is
Everybody-
me. I
everybody
knew who
knows
Hillary
who-
Clinton was
everybody
more than I
knows
knew
who
Trump
the
was.
first But you don't know her like you know Trump.
I agree with you. I
As
agree.
a-
I think
personally,
she was
nah.
always in the
Personally.
behind the scenes.
Yeah,
even
That's
when-
where she lacked. She has no
Yeah.
personal relationship
She
to the
wasn't-
people.
She wasn't there out there like Trump. is.
Bro, the
Trump-
realest thing she ever said was in her concession speech. It felt a little heartfelt, like, oh, it was a speech when she lost.
Yeah.
And it was
Yeah,
that
but
night.
yeah.
I was like, wow, I actually like. Too
spoke-
bad she
didn't
didn't.
speak that night.
The next day or whenever
the
it
next
was.
day.
It was within that 24 to
That was
48
another
hours.
weak ass show. You know what I'm saying? She couldn't even show.
Yo,
enough
we can't.
respect to
If
get on
you
stage
can't
that night.
feel
Yeah.
somebody, like it's like. And that was the thing. You are a politician in every sense of it. You're a
But
politician.
I didn't
She
really
was
feel
phony.
Trump at all.
I felt
No,
everything. Trump was real as a motherfucker, man.
He was real stupid. I mean, he said some real
Man,
stupid
of
stuff.
course he was stupid, but he was real.
Like,
he was
he
for
was real.
real. You know what I'm
Well,
saying? Like,
He, as a person, is authentic.
yo, he's
As a
he just
person,
said,
he's
look, man,
authentic.
I don't whatever.
But
I know it's I rigged it.
But
You know,
here's the
you know
thing,
what I'm
though.
saying?
Right,
he
right,
was
right.
real. Everything he said, he didn't even take a second to think about what he was saying. It was just like, yeah,
That shit was unreal.
all right, and
it was
that's
unfucking
ugly.
real. Think
Up
about
to
if
now.
someone woke you up from a fucking coma. If you went in a coma a year ago and someone woke you up and you was like, "Yo, bro, Donald Trump's president."
But hold on. You remember on my Facebook?
The actor?
Hold on. Hold on. You remember on my Facebook, I said that he was going to win. I said it. I said he was going to win
I think you did call it. Yeah.
in early 2016.
When did you call it? I called it when he didn't go away after the Mexican comments. That's when I know he was going
Oh
to win.
yeah, from then.
From then I knew.
I knew he was going
Yeah.
to sweep everybody else off the stage.
Because he was I can't make a proper analogy, but because he's not a politicians have to abide by certain
They have to
etiquette, certain
they have
etiquette.
and just the physics of politics.
And
they
right,
they have to
because
abide
if they
to it.
lose, because they're senators or whatever they have to go back to their constituencies, and they have
Right.
to keep their seats.
Gotcha.
So they're walking this
You're
line.
saying he had nothing to lose.
He had nothing to lose.
Nothing to
He
lose.
literally could said anything he wants. So
And he-
I don't think that's smart. I don't think that's talent. I think he just was in the right position, right place, right
That
time.
makes a lot of sense. I
And
never
you
thought
know-
about that.
Well, let me
all
ask
it
you,
is.
You know,
being
that's
that he
so great.
won,
That makes a whole lot
That's
of
not
sense.
now that
all it
he
is.
won,
There's other
does that
variables
make
to
that
it.
smart and talent? Now that he won like that,
But here's
I would say his sense of timing
my big-
is smart. Because he had said he wanted to run for president years and
Before.
years and years before. So I think him watching the political landscape, yes, was smart and said, all right, now I'm going to do it.
He
I'll
wouldn't
give
have
him
ran.
that.
He would not have ran if it wasn't for social media.
That too. That too.
Explain that. Explain
It was set up. Everything was set up
Because
for
he
him to win.
he'll tweet at 1:30 in the morning or 2:30 in the morning. What candidate, what president is tweeting? First of all, what politician is actually handling their own Twitter?
That
A
shit-
lot
that
of them, they
shit
just
doesn't-
don't do it now.
That shit doesn't
Or
make
they-
any
yeah, I mean,
sense.
most of the
Well,
a lot of
that's what I'm
politicians handle
saying.
their
Well,
Twitter though.
that-
He has direct access to you,
Yeah.
to everyone.
If you wanted to read, if you wanted
But
to
see, that's the
address it
thing.
right
He's
now,
not a
Yeah.
politician.
You know,
He is now.
Well, he signed up for it.
he's a
He is.
I mean, well,
he's
well,
a
the thing
quasi
is-
politician.
He's not a career
been
politician.
Tweeting
He's
the whole
exactly.
time.
He's not a career politician, but he is now.
He's
He-
the highest in the fucking world.
That's what I'm
in the
saying.
land.
When you run for president, you're a politician.
Yep.
Like you can say I'm not running. Because a lot of people said that to me. Like, oh, you don't like him, man? He's not a politician, man. I'm like, dude, he is. He's a Republican. He's running on the Republican ticket. I don't give a fuck when anyone says that. Oh, the Republicans hate him. I'm sorry. A lot of people fucking showed up in that voting booth
I voted.
and voted for him.
Exactly.
A lot of Republicans voted for him.
Yeah.
It's just a fucking fact. But people like to say that Republicans didn't like him, or he
I think
wasn't a
they
real
loved him.
Republican. But that's what I'm saying. I didn't buy that because how did he win? The liberals didn't vote for him. They were crying about Hillary.
He won. He won because he played. He played the music that people wanted to hear.
Yeah.
That's it.
He danced to the
He
beat.
gaslit everyone.
Yeah, he danced to
Did
the
he
beat.
do?
that
Did he
they-
really do that, or did he just really just tell the fucking
Dance to
truth?
the music.
What truth? What truth did he speak,
That-
bro?
well, that's
The,
what
the
I-
truth from his heart. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I want to build a wall. I want to do this. I want to do that. Like,
I
did
think
he
that
speak
was-
the truth. Like,
I think that
Okay,
was
so-
all planned.
you know what I'm saying. Like,
How
like
calculated
when
do
you
you
say
think?
that people.
Yeah, I think
I
it
don't
was
even
very
think- I don't
See,
calculated.
this is the thing where we don't know because it seemed like a lot of
He
it
knows how to
definitely is
push the
calculated.
button.
He knows.
I mean,
he knows how to push the
well,
buttons.
He wrote the art of the deal, right?
No, he didn't. Somebody wrote it for him.
Well, he was smart enough to do that. But I'm just
And
saying.
the
But
guy
back
who
to the
wrote
point.
that,
Go ahead.
the guy
Is
who
he-
wrote that, fucking like denounced him.
Is he
Yeah,
really
he
this
did.
smart dude that's like, I'm gonna say this, this, and this, or is it more what he said where I'm just shoot off the cuff, and then halfway in he's like winning, he's like, oh shit, this shit is working. Like which one?
Yeah.
Man, it's like you gotta.
It's a
win
little
with
bit of
that
both.
A
kind
little bit of
money.
both.
It
I
has
think
to
there
be
was a
both.
moment when he's like, "Oh shit, I actually could win." But then I think that's when his ego picked up. He said, "Fuck it, I do want to." I think he's got one of the biggest egos in the world. I think he
course.
wants. He
Yeah,
wants
he
this on his
has
resume.
to.
He's like, no, even if he got kicked out right now, he still could say, "Yeah, but I was the president of the United States."
Exactly.
But you
That's
have to have some kind of fucking ego to want to be president.
Of course.
Anyway,
of
yeah.
course.
You
But
have
he's
to.
got the biggest ego I've ever
He
seen.
does, and he's fucking like a narcissist. Like
Absolutely.
it's
Yeah.
You looking
You
at a
saw how he
guy.
pushed that
That's the
that
one thing
prime
that's
minister out
scary
of the
about
way.
him
No, I
because
didn't
he
see that.
he's insecure.
Okay, all right.
totally.
He's
Yeah.
an insecure
Hold
person.
on, hold on,
Yeah,
hold on,
he
hold on, hold
is.
on, real quick.
Bro, that's
It
that's
seems.
Real quick question.
he is,
All right, I
yeah.
have a question, right? I have 2 questions.
Maybe I'll have an answer
Yeah.
or 2.
Do you think he'll be there for 8 years?
No.
Yes.
Definitely.
It depends
not.
on on who
Yes.
the Democrats bring, because that's the problem. Democrats, who do they have? They are terrible at mining talent. They had 8 years with Barack to find someone, and I don't know what they thought.
They had
it's like no one's
Bernie.
looking. It's like they just
They
like a
had
year before.
Bernie.
It's like whoever's there is just there.
They had
Okay.
Bernie,
and
but
they
wanted
thought
to go
the
with
Republicans were dead. They thought that.
Bro, look at the people they threw out to battle him.
Yeah,
Nobody.
Nobody.
literally.
Jeb Bush.
Right.
But they had Bernie.
It's only because his last name's Bush. Marco Rubio totally was
Right.
not
He was-
qualified.
Ted Cruz.
He was okay.
He was okay, but he's a young
What's his
guy
name?
that's not like he just doesn't have that
He doesn't have the
experience
fire. Yeah.
and
Ben
and-
Carson.
Ben
Yeah.
Carson
Ted
was-
Cruz was
fucking
his
idiot.
was the only
Right,
comp
right.
that he had, and he
But
was he's not even
hold on,
competition.
hold on. The crazy thing about Ted Cruz was he's not qualified to be president. He's a Canadian. He was born in Alberta. No,
I
either
remember seeing those
Alberta or
headlines.
Calgary. He was born in Canada, basically.
Yeah.
So that totally disqualifies
And
you.
that was the one thing where Trump actually did have a point about birthrights,
Yeah.
unlike the Obama thing.
Unlike the Obama thing, you know.
The Obama thing, I was watching. There's a documentary on Roger
That's
Stone on Netflix.
So gone.
Basically, they said like Roger Stone helped Trump do some of his campaign, and he's big in Republican stuff, and a lot of it is just shock value. Like
Yeah.
he'll just say,
Yep.
"Fuck it, just ask Obama for his birth certificate."
Yep.
It doesn't matter if this is just completely
Bro,
fabricated.
yeah.
What he's saying,
He'll go-
it's putting the seed in enough people's minds to be like, "Oh shit, this motherfucker might
He'll
not
go.
be
Let,
American."
yeah, let's build the wall, and then he'll
Or-
say Happy Cinco de Mayo with a taco ball.
And the thing with Roger
Yep.
Stone too,
And
he
it
was
doesn't
in.
matter.
He was
What
in.
are you gonna- it's like what he
he
said
was the
about the
whole
bank. What are you gonna do?
connection.
Exactly.
He was the whole connection with that Alex Jones and Trump shit, which made me start to think Alex Jones is being bought out a little bit.
Bro,
Alex
I'm
Jones?
totally on that with you.
Hold on a second.
Because it's like,
Totally
yo,
on that with you, bro.
Alex
like,
Jones?
yo, you have Roger Stone in your corner. This dude is a businessman. Trump's a businessman. If you're really
Roger Stone,
connected
Roger
with them,
Ailes.
Roger Stone.
Oh, Roger Stone. Okay.
If you're really connected with these dudes, they're there. You're getting paid, bro.
Alex Jones was not as bad. To me, he's gone off the rails.
Yeah.
He's done now.
When he came out fully in back of Trump, I mean, it had to make everyone question it.
I
But even
immediately
before that,
questioned
though.
him that.
Even before,
then.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I fell off Alex Jones a little bit.
For a long time.
Yeah.
But that's because I fell off. Like looking
He does
at the
have great points though
conspiracies,
from
though.
time to time. That's the
Yeah.
shit that make you like
Looking
keeps
at the
coming back.
conspiracies, like it got too much for me. So that's why I
Right.
fell off. I
He didn't
fall
know
off-
he had no chill with it.
Yeah,
No
exactly.
shit.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't like question his validity or like whether he believed it or not. Now, when he came out and fully backed Trump, I was like, wait, hold on, bro. Hold on. I have to question you.
But
Yeah.
they're kind of friends before.
That's what I'm saying. Well, he's been on this show before.
Yeah. That was
Alex Jones has White House press credentials now.
Which is dope though. Just because the internet fucking
'Cause he was
radio show. It would be like
It
this
would be.
show just getting huge and it's like, all right, Gawncast, and someone like we kind of know
Yeah.
gets in the White House and like, all right, Gawncast has
Right.
It's- White
it's
House
an ill
access.
hookup. It is an
I
ill hookup.
understand
You know,
that it is, but it also is like I don't know. I can't
So
argue
much
against
power.
that. It is dope.
But,
can't-
hold
But
on,
it is a
hold on.
lot of power.
Hold
Just
on.
you can't just
Here's my
grant
second.
that power to everyone. Anyone.
Yeah.
Here's my
Even if it's your
second
friends.
question. My second question is, in this Trump era, what do we do to mitigate the detrimental effect that he may have on all of us as a whole and as individuals?
Talking about separation.
Well, not per se separation, but then more so like, how would you go about making sure that what he does on a macro and personal level does not affect your life adversely.
I don't post shit on social media about Trump. That's what I do. I mean, that's what I do. I keep that negative bullshit out. And when I see posts about it, no matter if I feel left, right, or up, down about it, I don't comment on it because I don't care.
I cut back as a whole
I'm
from
just
posting
done.
about politics.
Pardon?
I've cut back as a whole from posting about politics.
I cut back a lot.
Just the opinionated stuff that I threw up there, like I just.
I used to post a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You still do, but it's more of in a sharing and an informative way.
Yeah.
Which if
Which
I see
people
something,
still have a
mostly a lot of
problem
times as I see it's fun, and it just blows my mind that I post on. I've said this before on here that even if it's something funny about Trump, people that I know that like Trump won't like it.
Exactly.
It's like, bro, is it really affecting your sense of humor?
Listen,
Yeah.
people
Totally.
have
You
posted,
can't-
You know what I mean?
people have posted funny things about Barack Obama, and I find it hilarious because you can understand something without agreeing with it, and you can.
It's
look
both
at
ways too. With
you can-
liberals too.
yeah.
Like,
But that's
if
why
you
I-
post
be
something dumb funny about
objective.
Hillary,
You know,
no, it's the people that I know that like Hillary are not gonna like.
That's
it.
Yeah.
what I say. That's why I say that Trump supporters remind me of Hillary supporters, because it's a lot of the like
people getting their
homey
feelings.
exactly.
They're getting their feelings.
It's
you
like,
know?
dude, you talk about like a snowflake or whatever, but you're literally acting the same way.
You're acting the same way, and it's
Literally.
You know,
So it's like, come on, man, stop this shit. It's just another way to divide people, because people are already divided racially,
yeah.
culturally,
You know what?
religion. You know, there's just so many.
divide and conquer.
That's what I'm saying. There's so many divides that it's like, I have no hope for it.
I have hope.
Some-
I have
I don't
hope. I
at
think
all.
You have to have hope because think of 50 years ago, right now, this room is half white, half black, and we're all having a great conversation right now. 50 years ago, we wouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, that's
Charles,
that's-
you're familiar with
that's true,
the
but-
Moore's Law, Charles?
Moore's law.
Moore's Law.
Moore's law. Who's Charles?
Oh, this
Oh, I'm sorry, Corey. I'm sorry, dude. I'm so sorry. Corey, he said
Charles sound more academic.
I guess. But Corey, you
Charles
know about
Xavier.
Yeah, Charles Xavier.
maybe that's what it is. But
Professor
Corey,
Charles.
are you familiar with Moore's Law?
Yeah, Moore's law in regards to computers. You know,
Yeah.
from
So basically, you probably could explain it better to the audience than I could. What's your understanding of what Moore's
So
Law is?
what Moore's law basically dictates is that every year
Technology is gonna.
technology
I know
makes
what it is.
these leaps. So I mean, let's say a processor cost $200 and it had 2 units, or it had 2 units of power, power that it could actually pump out, right? The next year, instead of it costing 200, it would cost 100, and it would put out 4 units.
Right.
And then the next year, it would cost $50, and then it'll put out 8. So basically, Moore's law dictates that the cost of things will go up, but the power that they're able to put out.
So this is evidence of it
doubles.
right here.
Exactly.
Right.
So my bigger point is that I was listening to someone, some smart person on the internet or whatever, but they were talking about Moore's law. It also applies not only to technology, but it also applies to humanity and our own kind of like social
Yes,
evolution.
I do agree with
And there is the risk that we are going to advance so quickly, and there's going to be so much technological and social gains that we won't be able to like basically we're just going to be spinning, and then if we don't catch ourselves, we'll lose our balance, and that's what I think. There's just too many people
lose our balance in what
It's
sense?
fascinating.
and the whole thing will
What-
crash.
what-
That's what I think. I think
what-
the whole thing will crash at a certain
What
point.
will
'Cause
crash?
Bro,
the country.
I
The
did
entire
watch
country.
that Netflix episode. That's
Which
one
one?
you specifically told me about, the Black Mirror one with the girl getting the likes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That shit was crazy.
What's the name of the show? That's the one.
Black
Black Mirror.
Okay,
That's from
I was
years.
I was
That's a
looking
old-
at
that's a
Netflix
kind of an
yesterday
old
and I
show.
could
know that.
not remember the show. I was
Yeah.
like, damn, what's the name
That's
of it?
a UK show from
Yeah,
from
it's
the
UK. Yeah, it's British. It's British.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just feel that at a certain point, I don't think, because the reality is we got 200, 300, we're gonna have 300 million people in this country very soon. You can't get everyone on the same page. The way the
Hell
powers
no.
to be do it now
There's
is
already
it's called.
there's more than 300 million people.
There's more than 300.
All right,
Like,
more than 300
It's
million.
gonna be like 420, 450 soon.
That's what I'm saying. And in the past, over the past 100 years, the way the powers that be kept everyone on the same page was through that magic box called the television. That's how everyone kind of got their information, and everyone was on the same page. Now we have, cell phones, internet technology, so it's getting, we are getting connected, but we're also being divided more and more and more. And I think that same law applies to that. And I just personally, I think it's just.
I think certain millennials, like, even though they're growing up seeing things like Trump and so much division, like, I don't know. I still see like so many different kids chilling together and so much stuff, and like, I think I was thinking this in the gym last week because we're playing ball, mostly black kids in the gym, and this white kid's like, "Yo, what y'all like N-words doing?" Like, well, like, oh, that's not. Yo, this is not the first time I've seen this. Yeah. Like casually,
yeah, super casual.
Well,
like and no one blinked.
No one
batted an eye.
Yep.
Yeah. Nothing.
You know what?
Hold on, but if that was when we grew up in high school,
forget about it.
First of all, anyone I knew would have felt awkward as fuck saying that, unless you was like one of those really, really like kids that was really feeling yourself a little too hood.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And like kids already knew that you were that kid.
Right. They knew you were crazy.
Exactly. Right. But then, like another 10 years after that, like you know what I'm saying? Like, I remember seeing that too. Even like my little cousin, grew up in Queens, and just hearing them like all just like saying it and using it and turning around, and none of them are black. It's white, Spanish, Chinese, Middle Eastern, and it's just like I'm not just using the N-word just to use this, but I'm just thinking that like as much division as they see, I think that part of them is used to coexisting with each other,
right?
Yeah,
and not being even cognizant to be like, oh, he said this, he said that.
But you're getting it from a perspective of from someone who's from like New York, where it's one of the most culturally diverse places in the world.
Yeah.
When you go to places like down south, where it's really like
this is
really polarized.
Bro, they're 50 years behind in
it's
stuff like
crazy.
that.
Here's the thing, right? There's two parts to that. Did you get a chance to watch Dear White People?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I actually liked. I went into it like, oh, this is gonna be kind of corny, but I did like a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
I actually thought the first 5 episodes, I was like, holy shit, this show is like fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And then like the last 5 episodes, it kind of got like, all right.
It was a little preachy at the end.
Not just preachy, but just like, I guess predictable a little bit.
Yeah, I can give you that. In regards to.
But I thought you know what they stopped doing in the first 5 episodes? They told it from different perspective each episode, which was brilliant. Brilliant.
It was,
bro. I almost wrote a Facebook post about how good this was, and then like the last 5 episodes, I just kind of like, I was like, all right,
that's
it's
actually a show. I thought that was just like
it was a movie, but they redid it,
and then they did it as a show.
Yeah.
I think the show is better than the movie.
That's what everyone's saying.
I would imagine. I didn't see the movie, but I would imagine the show would be just because the way you could do it.
Yeah.
Each person's perspective of the same topic.
Yeah.
And I thought they touched on so many things that were so good and so valid.
And that's why I bring that up, because just like white kids or whoever using the N-word, they touch upon that in the show.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
In the at the party.
Right.
And the issue is, because of the proximity to all of us, right? And that the N-word is a very
I didn't want to make this conversation about that.
It just came
I know what you were talking about. You were just talking about the social
I was just
evolution.
and I didn't want to use that word because that word is one of the weirdest words in the language because it has so much history behind it.
History and it's contextual and it's
exactly. And because we could do like 2 episodes on that.
We could do 2 episodes. All right.
Yeah.
I don't.
Go on.
The way I feel about that word, man, is that shit does not bother me. Like I feel like that shit is like I call that shit the nigga button. It's almost like I'm serious. Like I remember we was at a spot in Arizona. White dude called my friend a nigga, and they beat the shit out of him. All of them, right? Now that shit had nothing. That had nothing to do with me, right? But I almost feel like it's like a game. Like if you want to trip a black dude off, you can almost like set him up. Like, hey, check it out. You go over there, you call him a nigga. Soon as he start, you come in there, you wrap him up, take him to jail, right? It's almost like a game. It's like you know what I'm saying. The whole thought of it, it's like you have the whole population or a big portion of it under control when you could get them to fucking
flip
out
with one word.
by just mentioning one word.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that shit is it. And I still hear people to this day. You better not ever let nobody call you a nigga. You knock them out. You break their fucking teeth. You hear people tell their children this shit.
I want to wrap up.
You understand?
That's a great point. That was a great. I didn't even think of that too, but that's a great point. I want to wrap up. It's so hard because I want to ask a question also piggybacking off of that, but I know it just leaves some more questions.
It's okay. Go ahead.
No, I know, but I know we're already over time and stuff like that. But
Okay.
yeah, let me just. But Frank always makes a great point about this, about censorship. It's like it puts in our mind, even though the word is different, it holds all this history to it. It's like, all right, what's worse? I remember he was bringing up an example on TV to call, like, not even worse. I forget what the conversation was, but it was like, oh, cracker, whatever. All these different terms, and then it said the N-word and not the term. You know what I mean? So it's having spick, it's having all these things, but it's whatever it was, but not saying that. But it's like, is that little censorship giving the word more power? Like, why couldn't Nas just call his album the nigga album?
Yeah.
Because the thing is, the word
It would have sold more.
It would have sold more, but the thing is,
I can tell you that much.
The word has so much context.
I know, but that's why I don't.
With it. And
But just simply saying that, do you think that just censoring it
should
more?
you censor it? You shouldn't censor it at all. Period.
Right.
But we live in a censored culture.
I don't. Here's the thing.
Without getting into the word too much, I just kind of wanted.
In terms of censorship, I don't agree with censorship. I think
in anything, because it just makes fuck more powerful to say fucking shit.
Not only that, is that I guess it gives it more power, but then also, I don't know, it's just weird.
I don't even think it gives, like, the word fuck does not have any power. It's just.
But when you're a young kid, like.
When you were young,
it's liberating because
I remember, like, the first time I said the word fuck in front of my mother, like, the look on her face was like you about to get hit right now.
Right.
So, but now I think it's just different. But when you censor people, when you're censoring their speech, you're censoring their thoughts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it changes the way that people think.
It changes the way that they behave too.
Exactly.
Because if you know you're under constant censorship, you're gonna act a certain way. Whereas if you're cool,
it's not natural.
It's not natural. Exactly.
It forces you to be, which can help you. It forces you to be, I guess, a little bit more creative. But at the same time, it also, like, you're also having to think about what you say instead of just saying what's really on your mind.
What's really on your mind?
Yeah.
So, like, that's why, because why they censor is for ad dollars. It's all about money. When you can't curse on the radio because someone's gonna call up fucking Nabisco and say, "Well, I don't appreciate why you guys are advertising on this radio station."
Thing, yeah.
But that's what I'm saying.
That's a great point.
It's about money. It's not even about, like,
saving the kids.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
I mean, really and truly, like, when you really think about it, right? If a woman shows her breasts on TV or in the street, and
they should allow it,
and a child sees that, what's really going to happen? Think about that.
Titties we should keep covered up because it would just titties wouldn't be as cool if they were out.
Yeah, I know. My boy was like, he didn't want weed.
They don't cover tits in Germany, man.
But here's the thing, though.
They don't cover them in Germany, and they are just as cool. Trust me.
That's the point of the night right there.
Titties!
We gotta go.
We gotta ride out on that
No
one.
problem.
All right, with that said, thank you, Corey, for coming on.
Ladies, leave your titties
Thank
out.
you.
Thank you.
We gone.
We gone.
We go.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, of course.
That's awesome.